कस्तूरी तिलकं ललाटपटले वक्षस्थले कौस्तुभम् नासाग्रे वर्मौक्तिकं करतले वेणुकरे कङ्कणम् सर्वांगे हरिचन्दनं सुललितं कंठे च मुक्तावली गोपास्त्री परिवेष्टितो विजयते गोपाल चूड़ामणि वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचानूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. We are reading from chapter Canto 10 of Shrimad Bhagwat Mahapuran. Today we shall take up the chapter number 39, which is the background of visit of Shri Krishna and Balaram to Mathura, who is accompanying Akrur ji, and how Akrur ji will get the divine darshan. That's the episode for today. We are very privileged to be reading from Shrimad Bhagwat Mahapuran, which is the highest Vedic scripture. In the Vedic tradition, we have 4 Vedas, Upavedas, we have 18 Puranas, we have hundreds of Upanishads, we have thousands of Smritis and Nibandhs, we have Itihas, Mahabharat, Ramayana. So the Vedic literature is infinitely vast. But amongst all those literatures, Bhagwat Mahapuran has this special pedestal, the position. It is the highest, and words cannot describe its glories. Suffice it to say that reading merely a verse from Bhagwat Mahapuran is infinitely auspicious for the soul, and the human birth which we have got is very rare. And if we have come to Shrimad Bhagwat Mahapuran and we are studying it diligently and with faith, it is such a amazing grace of the Lord. Bhagwat Mahapuran only emphasizes bhakti. In other Vedic literature, there are mentions of different paths, but Bhagwat Mahapuran is only about bhakti and how Sri Krishna has graced it to become his personification. When Sri Krishna left the earthly planet, he had told Uddhav ji that I will be present in the form of Bhagwat Mahapuran. So when we are reading Bhagwat Mahapuran, we are directly face to face with Sri Krishna. And the process of bhakti is very simple. Prahlad ji Maharaj talked about 9 processes of bhakti: Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnur, Smaranam, Archanam, Padasevanam, etc., which was made simpler by Shukdev ji Maharaj when he conveyed to Parikshit, Shukdev ji Goswami, when he told Parikshit Maharaj about the threefold bhakti: Shravanam, Kirtanam, and Smaranam. Shravanam is hearing, Kirtanam is singing the glories of the Lord, and Smaranam is remembering the name, the form, Nam Roop Leela Gundham Jan of the Lord. So there is a very prominent verse from the second chapter, from the first canto, second chapter, the fifth verse. It says, Tasmat Bharat Sarvatma Bhagavan Ishwaro Hari Shrotabyam Kirtitabyam Cha Asmaranam Asmartabyam Cha Chatabhyam. Parikshit Maharaj is being advised by Shukdev Goswami that for a person who is at the end of his life, the best recourse is to remember the Lord. And not only at the end of the life, at any time, remembrance is the ultimate. So, remembrance through singing the glories of the Lord, remembrance through hearing the glories of the Lord, and just remembering, if you are not singing or if you are not reading, just remembering in your mind is the ultimate. And when we were doing the Ramayana, we came across a very beautiful chaupai in the Uttarkand, which translates this in very simple words. Tulsidas ji says in this chaupai, Ehi kali kal na sadhan duja jog jagya tap jap brat puja. Ehi kali kal na sadhan duja. In this age of Kali, there is no other recourse, there is no other method than bhakti. What is not going to work is jog, jagya, japa, tapa, vrat, puja. We do all these. We perform sacrifices, yagyas, we do puja, we do vrat, we do japa, we do tapa, we do fasting, we do Ashtanga Yoga, but that is not the method. That will not take us to the Lord unless it is mixed with bhakti. But bhakti alone is potent to get us to the lotus feet of Sri Hari and Sri Guru. So these methods will not work. What will work is राम ही सुमीरिय गावही राम ही संतत संतत सुनिय राम गुण ग्राम ही श्री राम जय जय राम. So if jog, jagya, japa, tapa, vrat, puja will not work, what will work? Ramahi sumiriya. Remember Sri Ram. Gaya Ramahi. Sing the glories of Sri Ram. And Santat Suniya Ramagun Gramahi. And all those Nam, Roop, Leela, Gun, Dham, Jan of Sri Ram, listen to that. So the process of hearing is from the ears, the process of singing is from the tongue, and process of remembrance is from the mind. So with that background, let us now read from the 40th chapter, which is अक्रूर जी के द्वारा भगवान श्री कृष्ण की स्तुति.
चैप्टर 39 भैया.
चैप्टर 39, श्री कृष्ण बलराम का मथुरा गमन, the journey of Shri Krishna and Balaram to Mathura. So before we begin the text reading, let us begin the session with a bhajan. So over to Yatinji to read the text, and then we will sing it, and then we will read the text and we will have some discussions. Radhe Radhe.
राधे राधे भैया। भजो वृंदा विपिन बिहारी रे, भजो श्री राधे, भजो श्री राधे। Worship Shri Krishna, who performs sweet divine pastimes in the dense forests of Vrindavan. Worship Shri Radha, the darling daughter of King Vrishbhanu. Even Shri Krishna constantly chants the name of Radha Rani. Such is my queen Radha, the darling daughter of King Vrishbhanu. Shri Krishna keeps exclaiming with amazement upon seeing Radha Rani. Such is the beauty of my Radha Rani, the queen of Barsana. Radha Rani calls out to Shri Krishna, O my beloved, O my beloved. Such is my Shri Krishna who performs the sweet divine pastimes. Says Shri Kripaluji Maharaj, Shri Radha chants the name of Shri Krishna and Shri Krishna chants the name of Shri Radha. Such are my loving divine couple, Radha Krishna. Radhe Radhe.
राधे राधे। भजो वृंदा विपिन बिहारी रे, भजो वृंदा विपिन बिहारी रे, भजो श्री राधे, भजो श्री राधे, भजो श्री राधे भानु दुलारी रे, भजो श्री राधे भानु दुलारी रे। भजो वृंदा विपिन बिहारी रे, भजो श्री राधे, भजो श्री राधे, भजो श्री राधे भानु दुलारी रे, भजो श्री राधे, भजो श्री राधे भानु दुलारी रे। रटे राधे राधे गिरी धारी रे, रटे राधे राधे गिरी धारी रे, ऐसी मेरी राधे, ऐसी मेरी राधे, ऐसी मेरी राधे भानु दुलारी रे, ऐसी मेरी राधे भानु दुलारी रे। रटे राधे राधे गिरी धारी रे, ऐसी मेरी राधे, ऐसी मेरी राधे, ऐसी मेरी राधे भानु दुलारी रे, ऐसी मेरी राधे भानु दुलारी रे। भजो वृंदा विपिन बिहारी, भजो श्री राधे, भजो श्री राधे, भजो श्री राधे भानु दुलारी रे। हा हा खाए जाए बलि हारी रे, हा हा खाए जाए बलि हारी रे, ऐसी मेरी राधे, ऐसी मेरी राधे, ऐसी मेरी राधे बरसाने वारी रे, ऐसी ऐसी मेरी राधे बरसाने वारी रे। हा हा खाए जाए बलि हारी रे, ऐसी मेरी राधे, ऐसी मेरी राधे, ऐसी मेरी राधे बरसाने वारी रे, ऐसी मेरी राधे बरसाने वारी रे। भजो वृंदा विपिन बिहारी रे, भजो श्री राधे, भजो श्री राधे, भजो श्री राधे भानु दुलारी रे। यस यतिन।
रटे प्यारे प्यारे राधा प्यारी रे, रटे प्यारे प्यारे राधा प्यारी रे, ऐसे मेरे प्यारे, ऐसे मेरे प्यारे, ऐसे मेरे प्यारे लीला बिहारी रे, ऐसे मेरे प्यारे लीला बिहारी रे। रटे प्यारे प्यारे राधा प्यारी रे, रटे प्यारे प्यारे राधा प्यारी रे, ऐसे मेरे प्यारे, ऐसे मेरे प्यारे, ऐसे मेरे प्यारे लीला बिहारी रे, ऐसे मेरे प्यारे लीला बिहारी रे। भजो वृंदा विपिन बिहारी रे, ऐसी मेरी राधे, ऐसी मेरी राधे। ऐ- भजो श्री राधे भानु दुलारी रे, भजो श्री राधे भानु दुलारी रे। रटे प्यारे 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 प्यारी रे, रटे प्यारी प्यारे प्यारे प्यारी रे, ऐसे प्यारे प्यारी, ऐसे प्यारे प्यारी, ऐसे हैं कृपालु प्यारे प्यारी रे, ऐसे हैं कृपालु प्यारे प्यारी रे। रटे प्यारी प्यारे प्यारे प्यारी रे, रटे प्यारी प्यारे प्यारे प्यारी रे, ऐसे प्यारे प्यारी, ऐसे प्यारे प्यारी, ऐसे हैं कृपालु प्यारे प्यारी रे, ऐसे हैं कृपालु प्यारे प्यारी रे। भजो वृंदा विपिन विहारी रे, भजो वृंदा विपिन विहारी रे, भजो श्री राधे, भजो श्री राधे, भजो श्री राधे भानु दुलारी रे, भजो श्री राधे भानु दुलारी रे।
भजो श्री राधे भानु दुलारी रे, भजो श्री राधे भानु दुलारी रे, भजो श्री राधे भानु दुलारी रे। बोलिए श्रीमद सदगुरु सरकार
सरकार की
की जय।
जय,
श्रीमद युगल सरकार
सरकार की
की जय।
जय।
जय जय श्री
श्री
राधे,
राधे,
जय जय श्री
श्री
राधे,
राधे,
जय जय श्री
श्री
राधे।
राधे।
Our koti koti pranam to the lotus feet of Sri Hari and Sri Guru. Our koti koti pranam to Swami Mukundanandji. My humble pranam to each one of you. And now let us read from chapter 39, Akrur's Divine Vision, Canto 10, slide number 1. Meanwhile, on the way to Mathura at around noontime, Akrur paused the chariot at the banks of Kalindi river for him to complete his midday rituals. Krishna and Balaram too then refreshed themselves and waited for Akrur sitting in their chariot under the shade of trees. Akrur, after ensuring and seating them comfortably in the chariot, dipped into the river for bathing to start his midday rituals. Uttering the Gayatri mantra when Akrur lowered himself into the water, he astonishingly beheld Krishna and Balaram seated together below inside the river. Stunned and surprised, he emerged to confirm what he had seen, and again amazingly saw both Krishna and Balaram seated on the chariot, still standing under the tree. Completely bewildered, he dipped once again into the river to reassure himself, and now the most fortunate Akrur astoundingly beheld the spectacular sight of the Siddhas, Charanas, Gandharvas, and also of Asuras all bowing low to the thousand-headed, sparkling gem-studded hoods of the fair Lord Shesh, attired in blue Vastra, standing there resembling Mount Kailash with its shining peaks. So, in the picture, we can see the chariot on the bank where Sri Krishna and Balram are seated, and Akrurji had made them sit comfortably, and then he had gone into the water to take a dip. But inside the water, he had seen Krishna and Balram, and then he sees Sheshnagji with such glorious hoods of the thousand serpents and being worshipped by all these personalities. So he is so confused. He comes out, he sees Sri Krishna and Balram are there in the chariot. He goes inside, he sees them. in the water. So the Lord is present in every particle of the universe in the form of Brahma, and if he wishes, he can appear anywhere, and that's what is happening. The Lord is there in every atom as Brahm. The Lord is seated in our hearts, in the hearts of living beings as Paramatma, and the Lord has a personal form, which is the Bhagwan form, and he comes into different avatars. So let's see what happens in the next slide. Akrur also saw the Supreme Lord Vishnu resting on the coils of Sesh, bearing a dark hue, clad in yellow vastra, looking most serene with his pleasant smile, loving glances, prominent eyebrows, sharp and beautiful nose, glowing cheeks and lips, with his chaturbhuj and red lotus petals like eyes, his long arms, high shoulders, the prominent Srivats mark, a conch shaped neck, a deep navel, the leaf shaped belly with marked folds resembling a banyan leaf with lines. The Lord's legs were perfectly aligned with the toenails, radiating rays of light, and the feet with toes looked like petals of a lotus. The Lord was decorated in various resplendent ornaments, the Kaustubh mani and one mala garland holding the Shankh, Chakra, Padma, and Gada in his four hands. Akrur also saw many attendants headed by Sunand and Nand praising and glorifying the Lord. The four Kumar sages Sanak, Sanandan, Sanatan, and Sanat Kumar standing behind the Lord. The Devatas led by Brahma and Shiv were standing on the Lord's right, and the nine most prominent Brahmins, Marichi, etc., on the left. Akrur beheld devotees of pure mind, Prahlad, Narad, and the Vasu Uparichar standing in front of the Lord. He also saw goddess of beauty and fortune, Mata Lakshmi, goddess of nutrition, Mata Pushti, goddess of speech, Mata Saraswati, goddess of splendor, Mata Kanti, goddess of glory, Mata Kirti, goddess of contentment, Mata Tushti, goddess ruling over earth, Mata Ila, goddess of omnipotence, Mata Urja, goddess of spiritual enlightenment leading to liberation, Mata Vidya, goddess of nescience, ignorance, Devi Avidya, foremost of all divine energies, Yogmaya Shakti, Hladini, along with Maya Shakti, all these Devis waiting upon the Lord. So this is most fascinating. In the picture, we see Lord Vishnu, Chaturbhuj form, seated on the serpent bed, being served by Lakshmi ji and other goddesses. And Sheshnag is uh, with his 1000 foods. He is giving protection to the Lord. He is covering the Lord, and he is being worshipped by all these personalities. So it is so beautifully described, and this is what Akrur ji sees. So imagine his condition. He had desired to see the form of the Lord, and look what he has got to see. So this is very amazing and very much difficult to describe, incomprehensible, and unbelievably sweet and opulent. So let's read from the next chapters, next slides. Over to Yatinji.
जी भैया. Akrur, most fortunate to behold this rare sight, with full devotion bowing low, greeted the Lord and in immense bliss and delight, drenched in love and tears, he extolled the Lord and prayed. Sukdevji explains Akrur's condition. Vilokya subhrasham prito bhaktya paramaya yutah हिरण्यत्युन्नूरहो भावपरि क्लिनान्तमलोचनः गिरा गद्गद यास्तौषीत सत्त्वमालम्ब्य सात्वतः प्रणम्य मूर्धना विहत वहित कृतांजलि जलिपुष्ट कृतांजलिपुटः शनैः. As the great devotee Akrur beheld all this, he became extremely pleasant and felt enthused with transcendental devotion. His intense ecstasy caused his bodily hairs to stand on end and tears to flow from his eyes, drenching his entire body. Somehow managing to steady himself, Akrur bowed his head to the ground. Then he joined his palms in supplication and, in a voice choked with emotions, very slowly and attentively began to pray.
So most wonderful again, the description, the shlok, and in this picture we see Sanat, Sanatan, Sanak, Sanandan, the four Kumar brothers who never grow older. They remain in the childhood form, having been cursed in a way by Brahmaji because they did not want to listen to the instructions of Brahmaji to grow and populate the world. And we can see Saraswati ji with her Veena and all other personalities, the Saptrishis, Marichi, Pulaha, Ketu, Pulastya. The names are not mentioned, but those rishis are also indicated to be present. And the shlok is so beautiful. I'm tempted to read it once. Vilokya subrisham prito bhaktya paramaya yuta हृष्यत् नूरहो भाव परिक्लिन्नात्मलोचनः गिरा गद्गद यास्तौसीत सत्त्वमालम्ब्य सात्वतः प्रणम्य मूर्धना वहित कृतांजलि पुट शनै. राधे राधे. Let us move to the next slide.
जी
And the shloka is sung by Shukdev ji. Yeah, Sukhdev ji explains Akrur's condition uh, by explaining, expressing the sentiments in this shlok. Let's move on to the takeaways now.
जी भैया. Should I read?
Yeah, or any other participant if they wish to read.
Okay. Anyone would like to
Could
read the?
I please read, Bhaiya?
जी भैया. जी दीदी, sure.
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्. Translation. Before reciting this Shrimad Bhagwatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead, Narayan, unto Nar Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadev, the author. Radhe Radhe.
Right. So in the second chapter of the first canto, Vyasadev ji tells us about these beautiful methods of approaching Bhagwat Mahapuran. So the recommendation is before we read and recite Srimad Bhagwat Mahapuran, which is the means of conquest, means it is all auspicious and all potent. So how we should proceed? We should offer respectful obeisances to the Lord Narayan. We should offer obeisances to Nar Narayan Rishi, who is the avatar of the Lord in this creation. They are eternally present. They are present in Badrik Ashram and to protect and bless the planet, the creation, and also the goddess Saraswati, who is the goddess of learning, and also Vyasadev ji, who is the author of Shrimad Bhagwat Mahapuran. He is the son of Parashar Rishi, and he is also the avatar of the Lord. Radhe Radhe.
Let me read this one.
Yeah.
शृण्वतां सुकथा कृष्णः पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः हृदन्यस्थो रे भद्राणि विधुनोति सुहसताम्.
Yeah.
Shri
Suhrit
Krishna,
Sata.
yeah, Shri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is the Paramatma, super soul, in everyone's heart, and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. So we are all afflicted by the insatiable desires. No matter how much we fulfill those desires never get satiated. We try all methods, it doesn't work. So here we learn that the regular reading of Bhagavad will lead to the removal of those desires from our heart, because the Lord's blessings are required to overcome the strength of Maya. That's why this very beautiful shlok, which we should remember, Shinvatam Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanaha Hridayantastho Hridayantastho Hyabhadrani Vidunoti Surit Satam. Let's move on to the next.
जी. नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत भगवत्युत्तम श्लोके भक्ति भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. So, in the first slok, we learnt about the methods of reciting Bhagavatam. Narayanam Namaskritya Chaivam Narottama. That one. And the second, Shinvatam Katham Krishnam Punya Shravana Kirtana. The second slok, we learnt about how the heart gets cleansed by the grace of the Lord by reciting Bhagwat Mahapuran. And here in this shloka, Nashta Prayeshwa Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagwat Sevaya Bhagvat Yuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. When we attend the Bhagwat sessions regularly and when we render pure devotion, when we render service to the pure devotees of the Lord, whatever is troubling our heart gets completely destroyed. So Lord is so merciful. He knows what is troublesome in our heart, and he is so pleased. He doesn't want to see the devotees in pain. So he makes sure that all these troubles are eliminated. And then the loving service to the Lord is established. And this is an irrevocable fact. So also we have heard ye yatha mam prapadyante tans tathaiva bhajamyaham. So the meaning is, if we remember the Lord, the magnitude, the sentiment, the condition, the timing, the Lord reciprocates equally and more. He reciprocates in magnitude and in the sentiments and in all other ways. There is never a delay from the Lord's reaction and the reciprocation. So, with that, we have completed the session. Turned out to be a little shorter, and the chapter. And in the next session, we will take up the 40th chapter, in which Akrur ji will glorify the Lord. He will do the stuti of the Lord. So we are about 40 chapters through in the 10th canto, having first learnt about the appearance of Sri Krishna, how Sri Krishna entered the womb of Devaki, how the devatas glorified the 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 Garbhadhan of Devaki Mata, Garbhasthiti, and then Shri Krishna appeared, and then Kans came into the picture. He wanted to kill Shri Krishna, and he wanted to kill Yogmaya, and then she went into the sky, and she went into uh, the sky and said that your killer is already born. Then the Lord's birth ceremony was celebrated in Gokul. Then there were episodes about the liberation of Putna, Shaktasur, Trinavrat. Then the naming ceremony of the Lord took place, and his childhood pastimes we learnt. And then the most beautiful episode, how Shri Krishna was tied to the mortar, Ukhal Lila, and the liberation of Yamlarjun. Those two trees which emerged to be the the two persons who were liberated. And then the residents moved to Brindavan from Gokul, and there again Shri Krishna has to encounter Bakasur and Aghasur and Vatsasur. And then Brahmaji comes into the picture. He comes to know that the Lord has appeared, but he is difficult. He cannot fathom the fact that the Lord has appeared and is behaving like such a normal child. So he tests him, and how his delusion is dispelled. Those episodes we learned. Then there was the episode of the liberation of Dhenukasur, and then Kalia Nag's episode, how Kalia was graced, Pralambasur's liberation, the forest fire, how the cows and the gopas were saved. And then there is a description of the rainy season and the winter season in Braj. Then the Venu Geet, the flute played by the Lord, and a very prominent Leela called Chirharan, in which Sri Krishna stole the garments of the gopis. There was an episode about the grace on the wives of the Gyanis and the Yogis, and the famous incident of lifting the Govardhan mountain, and how Indra's ceremony was not held, and instead Govardhan mountain was worshipped, and how Shri Krishna protected everyone from the floods and the rains. And then Shri Krishna was anointed Abhishek. Nandji is rescued from Varun Lok, and then the start of the Ras Leela. Those five chapters, Ras Panchadhyay, how the gopis became very much forlorn in the separation from Sri Krishna, and how Sri Krishna, how they sang Gopi Geet, and then Sri Krishna appeared, he came back, and then the Maharaj took place. In the next few chapters, we read about the liberation of Sudarshan and Shankha Chukra, and then there was another Geet called Yugal Geet, uh, the liberation of Aristasur, another demoniac, and Kans now sends Akrur ji to Mathura, to Braj, to bring Sri Krishna. And then Keshi and Vyamasur were requisitioned to kill Sri Krishna and Balaram, but they were killed instead. Narad ji glorifies the Lord, and then Akrur ji goes to Braj, and Sri Krishna and Balaram comes to Mathura, and that is the Leela we read today. Later we will, in the coming episodes, we will read about Kubja, the hunchbacked woman who had the desire to marry Sri Krishna, and how Sri Krishna will fulfill her desire. And then the liberation of Kuvalyapid, killings of Chanur and Mustik, and other wrestlers, and finally, Kans will be killed and liberated. And in the next 5 chapters, Shri Krishna Balrams will undergo their thread ceremony. They will go into the Gurukul. Uddhavji will go to Braj. Uddhavji will speak to the gopis. There will be another Geet called Brahmar Geet. And the Lord will go to Kubja's house and Akrurji's house. And in the 49th chapter, Akrurji will go to Hastinapur. So this is the lineup for the sessions to come up to chapter 49. And then we will complete the Purvard, the first half of 10th canto. And then we will enter into the Uttarard, the next 41 chapters, because canto 10 has 90 chapters. So with that, we can now open up the discussions and invite any comments, feedback. Radhe Radhe.
जी भैया, राधे राधे. Great session today. Yeah, I mean, Lord Krishna showed so much mercy on mercy say, or I mean whatever, but yeah, I mean he showed his his divine form to Akrurji, who is a devotee himself. I mean, even though living in Mathura, where Kans is the king, and I mean he desperately wants to kill Shri Krishna. So I mean, great. It was great seeing all the like how Akrurji is seeing the Shri Krishna's divine form cladded with all the gems and all the devotees uh, beside him, and all the devis and devtas also. So it was great listening to the session, and I'm also very much looking forward to the next sessions, next chapters about how Shri Krishna goes to Mathura. I mean, reach Mathura and like uh, meeting Kubja and Kans and all the other all the other personalities, Mushtik and Charnoor and everyone. So and also when the I mean as you said, like the next chapters, I just remembered, like I mean today or tomorrow I think I was listening to Shri Maharaj's lecture where he was explaining how everyone was seeing as per their own sanskar or something, how the ladies were seeing Krishna when he entered the court, in Kansa's court, how devotees were seeing him, how bad thieves and everyone he was seeing him like with many heads or anything. So yeah, uh, I mean I have listened to the description from Shri Maharaj, but I would like to read the what is there in the chapters also, and also about the conversation when Shri Krishna sends um, Uddhavji to Vraj to to talk to the gopis about love and divine love. So yeah, I mean that conversation, not exactly, yeah, that conversation Shri Maharaj is also mentioned several times in his lectures. So that is also I'm very much looking forward to. So overall, nice bhajan in the beginning and the great session today. Thank you, Bhaiya.
Thank
Radhe
you,
Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Anyone else would like to
Radhe
say
Radhe
something?
Rajesh ji, Radhe Radhe Yatin Bhaiya. Um, I always marvel at Akrurji's character, because when you think about him, he is living under such difficult circumstances in a court where Gans depicts the worst in human nature, wanting to kill his own nephew. And whereas Krishna is also merciful, benevolent, the epitome of all virtues and love. And yet, Akrur, there's so much to learn from his character, mainly because we get so ruffled with just one little tiny issue in our lives. whereas Akrur must face this on a daily basis. And then to have such devotion towards Sri Krishna is just fantastic. A lot to be learned for me personally. And but yeah, one thing, what does Srila mean? Like even in Hare Krishna movement is Srila Prabhupada, Srila Vasudev ji, not Vasudev ji, sorry, Vyasdev ji. Could you tell me what that means, please?
So I have never checked the exact meaning, but I'm checking now. Srila, if I Google, so actually I always thought it's like Sri, the respectful, address. So Srila, yeah, Srila means eminent, fortunate, wealthy. This is what I get. So I really have not studied this, but with Google, these are the meanings I'm getting. Fortunate, wealthy, eminent,
You
beautiful,
are
bestowed by Lakshmi.
it's similar to Shri. I'm sure
Yeah,
it's similar to Shri,
yes.
but maybe a higher level.
Yeah, perhaps. Yes.
Thank you for a lovely session yet again, Rajesh.
Thank you very much. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
राधे राधे भैया, बहुत ही सुंदर
राधे।
सेशन था। और जो सबसे अच्छी चीज लगी, मैं हमेशा सोचती थी कि मुझे ये सेशन इतना अच्छा क्यों लगता है। मतलब कभी भी मुझे किसी रिमाइंडर की जनरली जरूरत नहीं पड़ती, खुद से मन में एक रिमाइंडर बैठा रहता है कि आज सुबह हमें भागवतम का क्लास सुनने को मिलेगा। और आज आपने कहा कि भगवान श्री कृष्ण ने खुद विदुर जी से कहा था कि कलयुग में मैं भागवतम के रूप में आप सबों को दर्शन दूंगा। तो सचमुच में ये 1 घंटा हमें भगवान श्री कृष्ण के साथ साक्षात्कार का अवसर मिलता है, और आप सबों की कृपा से ये संभव हो पाता है। बहुत बहुत सुंदर सेशन। ये जो यूं ही आगे और आगे बढ़ता रहे और हमें आनंद की अनुभूति होती रहे। राधे राधे, राधे राधे सभी को।
राधे राधे। हेमा जी।
Yes, Radhe Radhe everyone.
Radhe.
Akrur, he had such a difficult task, knowing what he had to do on the orders of King Kans. But he did his duty. His mind was always on Sri Hari, always. And when he went to bathe in the river, Sri Hari graced him with his divine vision. But Akrur fulfilled his duties. He'd done tasks, the difficult task that he had to do on the orders of Kans, but still his mind remained on Sri Hari at all times. I often, when I have difficulties in day-to-day life, I often think of Akrur. Yes, you can do it, you can do it. So Akrur sometimes is my go-to-go person, when facing adversities in the family, work, social life. Just do your duties to the best of the abilities. Keep Sri Hari in mind and remind yourself who are you doing the duty for and how you're doing the duty as well. So that's my 2 cents. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe, so wonderful. So in the US session, we completed the 11th canto yesterday. The 11th canto had 31 chapters, which is what we will read. And it was so fascinating. I was discovering many pieces of knowledge which I had not registered earlier. So it was very delightful. The prominent sections in Canto 11 are the Uddhav Geet, which is the conversation of Sri Krishna with Uddhav. Like we just mentioned that when Sri Krishna is leaving the earthly planet after completing all his leelas, 120 years, how he orchestrates killing of all the Yaduvanshis. And it is so incomprehensible. And everyone is killed, his son, his grandson, Anirudh, Pradyumna. And then when they are all cremated by Arjun, and the wives of all those persons, they also entered the funeral pyre. And only a few of them survived, and they came to Hastinapur. Arjun brought them over, and the son of Aniruddha, his name is Vajra, he was made the king of Hastinapur. So amazing information we get. And when Shri Krishna has departed for his Golok Dham, after Jara shot the arrow into his foot, into the toe, in yesterday's evening session, there was the birth ceremony of Sri Ram. So we sang the beautiful chant by Pragat Kripala Deen Dayala Kaushalya Hitkari. So it was such a coincidence that in the afternoon, we saw the departure of Sri Krishna, and in the evening session, we saw the arrival of Sri Ram. So it was very beautiful to observe that. And yes, as we mentioned, Shravanam, Kirtanam, and Smaranam. These are the three methods for us to remain blissful and alert to face the world. As Hemaji just explained, there are so many challenges at home, challenges with one's own body, challenges in the office, challenges in the society, in the nation, in the country. So, challenges with the children, challenges with the spouse. So, there is no other recipe, in my opinion, other than approach the Supreme Goddess Mother. Like when we are kids, we always run to our mother, and we have the faith that the mother will take care of all my worries and miseries. Similarly, we have the Supreme Mother Goddess Shri Radha, and the four rules we are learning to apply every morning when we get up. We remember with every breath, we chant the name of Radha Rani, and we don't hurt anyone. And then the third, we always feel we are very low, we are very lowly, and we are very fallen and sinful. And the rule number 4 is, even if we are criticized, we don't feel bad. We take it with a smile. So let us attempt to apply these 4 rules. The Lord says, Shri Maharaji says, if you apply these 4 rules for 10 days, sincerely, you can see the transformation. So with that, we can conclude the session now. Yatin ji, any other point?
No, भैया.
Okay, so बोलिए श्रीमद सदगुरु सरकार की
की
जय,
जय.
श्रीमद युगल सरकार की
की
जय,
जय.
जय जय श्री
श्री
राधे,
राधे.
जय श्री
श्री राधे.
जय जय श्री
श्री
राधे,
राधे.
राधे राधे
राधे राधे.
राधे राधे
Radhe Radhe.